Hello friends, this is Cauldron. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We're going to complete the Reaper quests today. We're at the level 78 quest. And I'm also, just as a general point, I don't know what because I know not many people watch this, but I feel like the voices might be annoying people, and so I'm going to go back on them, but let me know if you have a preference one way or the other. I'm not going to abandon them, but I don't know, I feel a little bit like silly. I don't know. Anyway. Drusilla. Thicker than blood. Drusilla seems relieved to see you walk through her door unscathed. Glad to see Orcus hasn't sunk his teeth into you yet, Ququshu. Don't go thinking he's given up on trying, though. Ah, the smooth music. So good. He's out there, savoring you from a distance. Can't resist checking in on his prize, just as he can't resist seeking out morsels to tide him over till his feast. The reports we've received of a man pale as death skulking about the sands is proof of that. Hermine. And then there's the matter of this blunted dagger. We don't know who sent it, but we do know what it means. A blunted dagger. Drusilla. It's a warning commonly used by the less savory elements of Old A warning that the next will be delivered sharp and straight to our bellies. Yes, who's playing with us? Hermine. But is that really an Orcus thing? I don't know. Hermine. More fool them. They've no notion of what we've faced and lived, thinking we'd soil our small clothes over empty threats. Maybe, yeah, that doesn't seem like an Orcus thing. That just seems like people who don't like the Reapers. Drusilla. Let's hope it's nothing more than that, lass, seeing as we need to follow up on those reports sooner rather than later. Anyone fancy a bit of fresh air? If we can catch a whiff of Orcus's foul stench, all the better. Ququshu, I want you to ask around near Blackbrush Station. I'll head to Stone's Throw. When you're done, meet me here, meet me there, and we'll share what we've dug up. Okay. Let's find out who's threatening us. I think that's what this is. Also, I just did a roulette a little bit ago, just earlier tonight, and got the lighthouse, and I got this Construct 8 minion. Inoperative when discovered in the Clockwork City of Gaug, the queer device whirred to life when a crystal was inserted under its chest plate. As long as the crystal is not replaced with aura sight, the automaton should prove harmless. Now, I'd forgotten a lot about my playthrough of Final Fantasy Tactics. I knew Construct 8, but I forgot a lot of the details, and my friend reminded me that Construct 8 was basically a machine that once, that came to life and became, I don't know if it was sentient, but became, Construct 8, basically, when aura sight was put inside it. Penitent Heretic, a construct born of desperation and denial. So I don't know if that's a type, if that's not type 0, if that's a tactics reference or not, or what that's from. Anyway, Loyal Lemur. I recognize that self-assured stride, the mark of a woman ready to take on the world and then some. You must be the Eorzean Reaper the boss sent word about. I am. I'm almost disappointed to tell you nothing's amiss. Soldier in me would have loved to see a Reaper in action. I once fought in the Imperial Army, though you wouldn't think to look at me now. I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that the lemurs are really they're defined not by being Reapers, but by being expats. I served proudly under Lord Valens in my youth, until the day he ordered us to use common folk as fodder in some pointless skirmish. I refused and was sentenced to death for my candor. Needless to say, I didn't keep that appointment. Compared to that, evil, toothless threats and ghosts, no bother. But the less jaded are more excitable. One lass in particular has been jumping at shadows. She claims to have seen all manner of terrors, but I suspect she'd be startled by her own reflection. Still, if you want to lend an ear to her delusions, you can find her in Lost Hope. 99% chance these are not delusions. Lost Hope, Elegant Woman. Ah, oh, hello. Who are you? I'm a Reaper. Oh, did Drusilla receive my missive? She sent someone to rid us of this terrible evil waiting in the wings. Truly she cares for us as if we were really her flesh and blood, which is more than I can say about my own. Not once have I longed to return to the life of comfort I left behind in Garlemald, and I have Drusilla to thank for that. She isn't the reason I left home in the first place, of course. Had I met my beloved, I would likely still be feasting on lemon cakes in ignorance. in ignorance of love, freedom. I found the former in Garlemald and the latter in Eorzea, as our new life blossomed into something beautiful. Yeah, Drusilla really kicks ass. She's not just a badass. She really cares for these people, and she's made a lot of lives better. Not every day has been easy, not even most days, but Drusilla's watchful eye has kept us safe, and our freedom is worth any measure of hardship. Such terrible fear gripped my heart when my beloved told me of the pale man he spied on the sands, but now that the family has come to help, I can breathe a sigh of relief. I'm sure you wish to know precisely where to find that horrid creature, but I cannot help half so well as my beloved might. Seek him in the southeast, and pray put an end to this nightmare. Speak with the Lithe Dandy. I look forward to meeting the Lithe Dandy. Hello, Lithe Dandy. I hope that's just his name. I don't think it's just his name. Through devilled mists the hunter doth now tread, tracking the scent of quarry others dread. In darkest night cry for a keeper, lo, by your side she walks, the Reaper. You are no wandering minstrel, dude. Yeah, that's a perfect look, Ququshu. Apologies for the effusive display, friend. I'm a poet, you see, and cannot resist putting into words the flood of emotions that accompany such a striking figure as yours. I dislike you thoroughly. Oh, something shocked you. Is it real, or is this a fake out? I have no idea what that is. A monster. What the fuck is that? What is this? Blood-supped void scent. I thought this was someone in like a Halloween costume or something. The proportions are very strange and almost humanoid here, but I believe it's a blood-supped void scent. Just very weird design. I don't mind it. It's just unusual. Rah. The bloodlust emanating from the void scent is potent and powerful, so it's real. It's not my favorite design. It's a little bit comical. Like it looks like a person in, well, now it looks bigger. It looked like a human-sized person in a costume when I first saw it. I don't know. Anyway, let's kill it. Blood-sucked void scent. We got it. We beat the blood-supped void scent and saved the Lithe Dandy. Thank you, my savior, my godsend. Don't make me another poem. Would that I could have aided you, but alas, a poet's pen is of little use in battle. Unless, of course, that battle involves not swords and sides, but words. Just ask the sire of my beloved, who is even now licking the wounds dealt by the invective verse I composed after he had the gall to forbid our union. Oh my God, this poor woman. A masterwork of scathing metaphor and subtle remonstration. Alas, for all these pretensions, many pretensions. Nobles are anything but subtle in their rage. We were forced to flee, to abandon our homes with only our love for sustenance. Nevertheless, I've regretted not a single moment of our life in exile. In Eorzea we found an unexpected treasure. Freedom. Freedom of mind and heart. But I digress. Surely you did not seek me out simply to save my life and leave with but a nod and a smile. Did you wish to commission a poem? Hell no. Please say no, Ququshu. Okay, yeah. The pale man. I encountered him whilst wandering in these arid wastes in search of inspiration. I felt the gaze of some terrible presence upon my back, and when I turned to meet it, he was standing there grinning like a butcher in a bullpen. That actually sounds like him. I don't think you're deceived on this front. He wore robes much too thick for these scorched sands, and his skin looked as if it had never been kissed by the blazing sun. Worst of all, his eyes were two bottomless pools of blood. That's actually very poetic. I kind of like that. I feared my end had come, but then he vanished as quickly as he had appeared. Huh. Yeah, so we know that he has a habit of, like, playing with his food. But what was the point of showing up here? Was he trying to... We've seen him pull bait moves before. Was he trying to trick me into something? Perhaps I've been reckless. Recent incidents made it clear that the cost of inspiration is higher than I'm willing to pay. I shall return to my beloved for both my safety and hers. Thank you again, my savior. Yeah, he seems annoying as hell, but he doesn't seem like a bad guy. The Lithe Dandy, I mean. Like, not, I don't mean a villain. Like, he doesn't seem like a bad person. He seems like an okay dude. Drusilla, what have you found? All I found was a blood-sucked void scent. There you are, and... Yeah, so I tell my story. Not much of a story, but, you know. Another one of his accursed minions. Well, I suppose we can take comfort in the fact that none of the family came to harm, yourself included. Well done. But again, what bothers me is that this was by his, like, he clearly had the opportunity to harm the live dandy. He clearly knew the live dandy was important to Drusilla, and he considered it a better move to leave him alive. Speaking of which, what do you think of this family you've been thrust into? Speak freely. I haven't lived this long by taking offense at opinions I don't want to hear. I'm surprised you all have lived this long. Seems like any other family to me. Doesn't matter what I think. I think it seems like any other family to me. It really does. Like a good type of family. Huh. Some odd families then, I reckon. I like to think we're one of a kind, though. Collection of cast-offs, unfit to live under the Empire's boot. Yours truly included. I think a lot of them... I think it certainly is... It reminds me of a lot of found families, and I appreciate that. Much as some enlightened types might tell you otherwise, people like to have a say in the life they lead. That's what separates us from those bugs over there. What bugs? Oh, just the bees. Yeah, they don't have much of a say in their lives. Born queens, workers, drones, bred into roles ingrained so deeply they wouldn't know how to live otherwise, for the glory and prosperity of the hive. Yeah, I can see why, more than any other insect, why bees are an appealing metaphor to her for an imperial life, a Garlean life. Garlemald does not. Well, yeah, no, I see what you means. Drusilla, but we've got it in us to be different. Might be born into farming, soldiering, or potlicking. Politicking, not potlicking. Politicking, but we could choose to walk a different path whenever the fancy should strike. Tain't our nature to accept a lot without question. No, we have to believe in something, put our faith in it. Only then will we deign to march in step. And indeed, faith of a savage stripe is one way to get us dancing to the same tune. Others might be compelled through faith in logic or law, intangible, invisible, yet enough for killing and conquering if it suits the queen. Hold on, I didn't understand this sentence at all. Indeed, faith of a savage stripe is one way to get us dancing to the same tune. So savage faith, like faith in the Reaper, in being in the Reaper stuff. So like the faith in like their void sent Reaper-y ways. Others might be compelled through faith in logic or law, intangible, invisible. No, in logic or law. So everyone. Okay, so wait. Intangible, invisible, yet cause enough for killing and conquer if it suits the queen. I still don't. I something about that sentence is over my head. Hey, Emetzelk. The invaders have sullied our birthright for 8 centuries. No longer. We march for Locus and Minas with a few righteous... This was not Emmett's... This was like in his prime Solus, Emperor Solus. When he was still... Before he was an old man. And when he was still the prime emperor there. Wow, it's weird to see him in this context. Yeah, so no longer we march for Locus and Minas. With a few righteous words, his radiant Solus Zosgalvus whipped the hive into a frenzy. Once that fire's burning, the passion of the masses can't soon be quelled. What was once a wish for home became a holy mission to spread enlightenment which would not suffer such beliefs as the beastmen held. Countless scores rendered up their lives on the altar of empire, until an entire continent was united under a single Magitech fist. I keep thinking what a great villain Emetzelk was, and this is just driving home that he's a great villain not because he was right. Like he was absolutely like a murderous, wrong-headed person, and like this just drives it home. Like, it helps to be reminded, given how likable he was personally, how much death and destruction he caused. In our eyes. I know he wouldn't see the same thing, at least not before we beat him. For those who still dreamed of the dream of unity, a deed worthy of... Wait, for those who still dreamed the dream of unity, a deed worthy of song. Okay, so he was, for people who wanted like a reunited empire, they loved what he did. Yet some awoke to see it for the tyranny it was, my grandfather Rulus included. The talents of the Reapers are passed down through bloodlines. Rulus was the best of us, the most accomplished and feared in the Order's long history. The duty of the Reapers, our role in the hive, if you will, was to deliver our countrymen from corrupt and power-hungry tyrants. When Garlemald found religion and conquest, its appetite grew to be insatiable. My grandfather pondered this conundrum for many sleepless nights and came to a decision. He would relieve Solus Zos Galvus of his life. Your grandfather is such a badass. It's too bad that he didn't know that, like, exactly what he was trying to take down, and that was physically impossible for him. Oh, poor guy. Oh my god, oh yeah. 20 years ago, he slipped into the deepest chambers of the Imperial Palace, silent as a shadow, until he could hear the Emperor's beating heart. Yet when Rulus returned to me, Solus was alive and well. My grandfather, on the other hand, had a skittishness to his step, and his black hair had turned to pale white. Yeah, this was a mission that had no hope of success. Oh, the poor guy. He said naught of his encounter with the Emperor, save that the most powerful man in Garlemald was no man at all. I'm not even surprised at all that Emet-Selch didn't kill the guy. Like, I think he would want to, like, as a way to mock him or to show him how powerless he was, or any number of things. Like, I just think it would have been beneath him. Shamed by his defeat, my grandfather sought greater power. Bit by bit, he gave more of himself over to the void sent behind his avatar. Orcus struck when rule. It didn't connect to me until just now that the grandfather he was talking about was the one who Orcus took over. Oh my god, this is horrific. Orcus struck when Rulus was weakest, taking his flesh and soul in one fell swoop. When he was finished, not a mote of my grandfather remained in that body. There was only Orcus. The fiend flew into a rapturous frenzy, and my family were his first victims. This is her biological family, I'm guessing. I remember the chill of his teeth sinking into my flesh, gnawing until they reached my very essence. How did you survive? Did he just choose to let you go? How am I standing here before you then? Yep, that's exactly what I asked. Oh, Orcus gorged on his soul that night, but it wasn't mine, not exactly. It was my avatar that filled his belly. Seems that was all he could stomach. I don't know what kind of relationship Reapers have with their avatars. Like, is it like a personal familiar that you have an emotional relationship with? Is it just like your power was drained and you had to find another one? Some might consider that a lucky twist of fate, but I had little time to ponder my fortune. Fled soon as I was able. His radiance never looked kindly on those trying to end his life or their families. I mean, he didn't look kindly in them, but it sounded like he didn't immediately kill. And I can't imagine Emet-Selch that Emet-Selch like was that Rulus escaped unwilling, against Emet-Selch's wishes. I wandered about for years until I settled here and started seeking out others like me. Others who had awoken from the Empire's dream. Lemurs is what... Lemures. I mean, it's Latin. That's not lemurs in Latin, it's lemures. Lemures is what we call the spirits of the dead in the Garlean tongue. A fitting moniker if there ever was one. Waking up from a long sleep ain't unlike climbing out of the grave. I can attest to that. Lemures. The son of a bleed. Remind me not to give such long-winded speeches when the sand's blowing in my face. I'm heading back for some mail. See you at the headquarters. So that was fascinating, and again, I love seeing Emmett Selk as Solus. It's something we really didn't see much of at all, ever. Like, even in Shadowbringers, the Emmett Selk expansion. Hermine. Welcome back, boss. How's the family? Drusilla. Shaken but unharmed aside from some tousled hair and mangled verse. Orcus left one of his minions behind as a gift, but Ququshu made quick work of it. Actually, that makes sense. He doesn't quite know how powerful we are, and so his plan could have been... his plan, it seems like, was just to lure me out to the open and take another shot with one of his Void Scent. Okay, that makes sense. Hermine. I always said she was a keeper. You have an eye for the fierce of heart. I wager she could slay Orcus all on her own. Not that we let her take all the glory. That's... I don't know if I could. I mean, Orcus seems... It's not his power that bothers me. It's how crafty he seems to be. Like, he seems like the kind of Void Scent who would be able to warp away in a losing fight. And just try again later. Drusilla. Of course we wouldn't. We'll all be there when Orcus tries to take his prize. I don't think we'll be waiting long either. Why not? He really indicated like he has all the time in the world. Orcus said he'd strike when Ququshu was ripe with fear and hatred and despair, seasonings he'd loathe to forgo. I have an inkling of how he might try to draw out those emotions and finish off a half-eaten meal besides. Like right now? Okay. Orcus. Right you are, Drusilla. I was not expecting him to just pop in right now. I really thought he was going to take his time. Oh, she was offering up herself as bait. Maybe? Orcus. How many nights did you mourn your lost avatar? The wellspring of your power, I must say. It was quite the dish. Think not. I think not. Move so much as a finger, and her head will hit the floor. Is that her own scythe she's using? Yeah, that's her own scythe he's using against her. Oh, that's it, Ququshu. That fire. I want to see it burn. I want to see it rage. I want to see the hatred seep into the depths of your soul. Shall I make this Drusilla's final breath? Or this one? It's so very hard to choose. Yeah, I think she knew about this. I would think she was expecting this, and that this is part of her plan. To lure him out. Orcus. I was right not to give in to my baser instincts. To allow the thought of your taste to simmer in my mind as you and Drusilla formed a bond. A kinship, even? Yeah, literally, we're part of the family. Born from an understanding of her inconsequential ideals, that you may better appreciate the bitter loss. You are one nasty jerk-face. But perhaps I should wait a while longer, to let the flavor of your hatred mature, and the tang of your malice ripen. I can make use of Drusilla yet, revel in her screams, exult in her misery. Ah, how splendid it will be. All the while my prized piglet growing fat with loathing and succulent with terror. Patience rewards the dutiful gourmand, after all. When your tantalizing flavor has fully matured, I shall return, and I shall reap my harvest. Okay, yeah, this guy... I think she knew what she was doing. Like, I don't think she... I don't know. I think she expected this, but boy, is that a price to pay, because he's really going to mess with her. Oh, that's rough. And I think he's right, because I actually do... I mean, Drusilla's great. I want to protect her, and I'm pissed at him. Okay. Hermine. God's damned void-sent bastard! Soulless piece of shite! Orcus is going to pay for this. We need to think, Hermine. I think we need to think, because, again, he keeps trying to trap us. He's doing a pretty good job. Hermine. I know. Now's not the time to lose my temper. Deep breaths. Cool heads. Can't lose. Right. We need a plan. First things first, find out where Orcus is hiding. The rest of the family should be able to help with that. In the meantime, you need to prepare. I know you're good, Ququshu, but we can't leave the boss's life to chance. Sharpen your skills and your scythe, then sharpen them more. The boss can do naught against Orcus without her avatar. That means you'll have to do the heavy lifting. Of course, I'll do what I can to afford you an advantage. You can count on that, for Drusilla. Herman, you're quite pure. I like you. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Time passes. I'm now level 80. The Killing Art. Ooh, what do we get from this? Enshroud. Offers your flesh as a flessel. Offers your flesh as a vessel to your avatar, gaining maximum stacks of Lemure Shroud. I don't know what Lemure Shroud is. Shroud Gauge. Allows for Shroud Gauge. Okay. Accumulation upon the landing of gibbet, gallows, or guillotine. Is it gibbet or gibbet? Gibbet. Okay. I just looked it up. It's gibbet. Hermine seems to be in a fit of pique, her anger directed at something you cannot see. Something I cannot see. I assume she'd just be angry at Orcus. When I get my hands on him... Oh, Ququshu, listen. We found out where the boss is being held. But I'm warning you that how of it isn't pretty. An envelope arrived at headquarters this morning. I opened it, and inside was... Shite! Inside was a letter, written blood. There's no doubting whose it was. Orcus is reveling in his own cruelty. The letter said he's waiting for us at the dusk vigil. Gods know what he's doing to her now. Orcus reminds me very much of... I mean, there's a million, like, Pazuzu from The Exorcist for it jumps to mind, but the person he reminds me most of right now is Angel from like late season 2. Solus Angel from the Buffy show. I've called every able-bodied member of the family for this one. We're heading out as soon as everyone's assembled. Yep, the team is all here. Loyal Lemure. We're here. Hermine and more waiting outside. We're ready to repay the debt we owe Drusilla with our lives, if we must. Life Dandy. Oh God, really? This is not the time, Life Dandy. With souls courageous, heads of heart and steel, for leader's sake, for family's ideal, into the demon's lair they soon shall tread, to end his terror foul, his reign of dread. Yeah, Hermine's like, okay, whatever. No, she was more enthusiastic than that. I'm projecting. The boss would beam with pride to see this group of cold-blooded killers. All right, Ququshu, we're ready when you say the word. It's a job for the Reaper, a Reaper and a Reaper alone. Fake us, Orcus, and you won't be coming back. I'm going to go with this. Because I don't think they'd mind about facing Orcus and not coming back. Given the pure impact we've seen that Drusilla's had on their lives, I think they owe her that. But, yeah, I'm going to say this is a job for a Reaper and a Reaper alone. I don't think they're going to be much help. Especially friggin' Live Dandy. Yeah, she's taken aback. Live Dandy shrugs like, yeah, I figured. Hermine. What? Now, we might not hold a candle to the likes of you, but we got skills. You'll need someone to distract Orcus, right? Then you can move in for the kill while his back is turned. Don't tell us to stay here with our thumbs up our arses while the boss is suffering. Yeah, this is... I'm not going to be bossy because I friggin' just met them, but Drusilla wouldn't want you throwing your lives away. And I think that's absolutely right. 100%. What do you know about what she wants? Loyal Lemure. Hermine, listen, maybe she's right. I love Hermine's costume design, by the way. It's incredible. It's so good. I know she's right. God damn it. Doesn't mean it doesn't chafe. The boss wouldn't just trust any woman with the Reaper's arts, and Ququshu's proven herself worthy time and again. If you're going alone, take that with you. The note, or what? Or her scythe. Her scythe, okay. I thought the scythe warped away with her, but maybe that was a different scythe. No, no, that was... No, that wasn't her own scythe that, that Orcus held against her. That was Rulus's scythe. That was the grandsire's. Oh, that hurts even worse. Hermine, for the boss. No self-respecting reaper can reap without their scythe. Okay. We'll get your weapon back to you, Drusilla. Oh, the sound of the unsheathing. Beautiful. Now go and make Orcus rue the day he crossed into this world. Hell yes. Stride purposefully, Ququshu. It really does take some of the impact when it's a Lalafell striding purposefully. But, you know, I get the spirit. She's got the spirit. Yeah, we've arrived at the Dusk Vigil. Let's see what Orcus awaits, what Orcus has in store. Orcus, there you are, Ququshu, my prize repast. Come forward. Yeah, right into his lair. But it's not like we have any choice in this matter. I mean, he's choosing the battleground, and he's got the prisoner, he's got the hostage, he's got... Yeah, he's got everything. Here's my prediction for this. I think that Rullus is going to somehow help in this. I don't know how, but I think Rullus is going to play a role. Ah, Drusilla. Is that Drusilla? Yeah, it is. I thought it might be Orcus in disguise, but he hasn't really shown shape-shifting ability, has he? Oh, here we go. Slam it into the stone. Orcus. I can smell it. Your fear. Your hatred. Your tender marbled soul. My masterpiece ripe for the slaughter. I'll savor every bite. Strip the flesh from your bones and crack them open something. That tongue, I'll never get over that. How I hungered, how I thirsted, enraptured by the thought of your sweet essence trickling down my throat. Never have I suffered so in waiting, but in beholding your... This music, is this... God, this is just the Endwalker boss music. Holy shit. But in beholding your magnificence, I see it was worth every agonizing pang. I do not expect you to leap into my maw willingly, nor do I desire it. I want you to writhe and struggle until your dying breath. I will struggle all you want as long as this music keeps playing. Ah, it's so good. It's so good. Defeat Orcus. Here we go. Stack Death Shadows twice. Get behind him for that. Cleaver. Okay. Flank Cleaver. Just start doing our combos. Void Call. Let's see, he's bringing some friends in. Pig Squirms and Rise. Stay still and let the chef's blade finish the job. Yeah, too bad for you, I have an AoE rotation. Yeah, not too bad. Explosion, yeah, no worries there. I can't die without a final meal. So you're weakening. Oh, wow. Okay. Phase change? Are you going to turn into your true form? Orcus. Very good. Defiance becomes you. though it begins to bore me. Yeah, you're going to change, shift into your true form, not your rawless form. Oh! Never mind, you're going to explode at me. A noise, rather. 'Tis past time you bared your belly for my blade. Prey's sole purpose is to satisfy. Boy, this is an area where any agreement you might have had with Xenos might disappear. He would find prey to be, oh shit! Throw her the scythe, do it! Orcus, my word, your aim is terrible. Oh, get wrecked! I mean, he was still at like 70% life. There's no way he's dead from a single scythe hit. But that has to be a non-pleasant surprise. Orcus, how? There should be nothing left of you. Drusilla, should have learned to chew your food more thoroughly. Yeah, sass him. Get him. Get his ass. Oh, music change. Orcus, fools, the both of you. I won't die so easily. Oh, I think we can't. This is the worst option. We have to do either now our feast begins, or I don't want it to be easy. No, now our feast begins. We gotta sass back. Feast of Vengeance for Drusilla is what this is. Oh, Phase 2. Here we go. Was this the final boss music in the Zot raid? I don't remember. Very well, the meat is more delicious and tenderized. Give him a taste of his own vile medicine. Rip his soul out. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, this has got to be the final boss music. Like the final dungeon boss music, I mean. Void Call, here we are. More. You just worry about Orcus. I'll take care of the rest, Ququshu. Okay, I will stay on Orcus. I will trust you. You know your AoE rotation well. Orcus is going down, and thanks to Drusilla. I helped, but it's mostly Drusilla. And harp him. God, no! How does it feel to get wrecked by your granddaughter? I mean, it's not your granddaughter, but you know what I mean. No. Poor Orcus. Just kidding. The honor is yours, Drusilla. I mean, I wouldn't even be messing around with this. Like, again, I'm afraid of him just warping away. I wouldn't be, like, giving the honor to anyone. I would think we just kill him as soon as possible. Thank you, Ququshu. But if we're reasonably sure that he's out of tricks... Orcus dripping with fear, boiling in hatred. I can still smell its exquisite aroma. Is this her avatar or Rolus? No, he was talking about me. Just a taste. Yeah, he was reaching out to me with that. Eyes are bigger than your stomach, pal. That was not a dig at the injured Drusilla, of course. Hey, it just hit me. This is the boss room where that Griffin boss is in Dusk Vigil, isn't it? Drusilla, it's done. Let's get back to headquarters, Ququshu. Yeah. A quiet end, but I'm glad you got to finish it. Family is probably worried as hell. Yeah, Hermine does not look happy about having to wait. Hermine, boss, Ququshu. That smile. Ah, Drusilla's back. I hope Drusilla gets massive amounts of counseling for the trauma she just went through, though. I think that's unlikely. Drusilla, sorry for causing you all no end of worry and tracking me down. No end of worry. In tracking me down, you risked life and limb, and for that I thank you. All of you. Yes, even the poet. Hermine, we didn't risk anything. We just sat here praying until you and Ququshu walked through that door. Drusilla, don't be so hard on yourself, lass. I know each and every one of you. Each and every one of you would have joined her if she hadn't talked some sense into you. Yeah, they were all raring to go. Hermine, we owe you our lives, boss. We owed it to you to return the favor. Drusilla, you're more than I deserve. Who forces them they hold dear into a personal vendetta? Who leads family to their death? Arnegas' wife. Arnegas was no fool. He knew and accepted the risks. He placed his faith in you because he believed Orcus had to be stopped, and he was right. There will be no more victims to mourn. He helped you to achieve that victory, and it'd be enough for him, and it'll be enough for me. Yeah, even she doesn't blame you. Drusilla, you're right. This ain't the time for sulking. Arnegas would be the first to tell me that. Now's the time to honor his sacrifice, to toast those we've lost and those still by our sides. They really have a nice little family here. This makes me, I'm glad I did this right now, because I'm even more excited to get to Garlemald. Because I know that, again, I know Garlemald is one of the zones we go to, but, like, I'm excited to get there. Drusilla, and to thank the brave souls that led us here. That means you, Ququshu, much as I'd like to take credit for Orcus's demise. It was a long, bloody road, but this marks the end of your first assignment as a Reaper. I'm legitimately sad that we won't get more of... I don't know how she'll come into play, actually. I think there's no Reaper job quest for the next 10 levels. It's just the role quests, but I'm sad we won't get a full another set with her. Oh, what an assignment it was, eh? You might not be Garlean, but you tackled your task with a single resolve that had impressed the most hardened soldier. I'm proud to call you family. Bless you, you're great. You're a great Drusilla. We may have founded the Lemures to provide a home for wayward Garleans, but we're not so different. Garleans and Eorzeans. There's no great revelation that, but moments like these help to put it all in perspective. This family was a dream that gave us the strength to survive in a strange land. But the beautiful thing about dreams, if you ask me, is that they can change. They can get better. So I say that from this day forward, the Lemures will be united not by origin, but by purpose. Brothers and sisters bound by shared convictions. Hermine, I don't think anyone will object to that, boss. The Lemures are ready to welcome people of all stripes. Yeah, I'm taking that as a dig at the stripes on my face, but I can take it. Starting with you, Ququshu, you're really rubbing it in. Though it was all but official already, eh? It was. Drusilla, aye, here's to the birth of a new family, sister. This is lovely. This is not the kind of quest. I thought the Reaper would be more like the Dark Knight thing, where it would be super edgy, and this was not an edgy. There was a little bit of edge to it, you know. Get it? Edge. But there was a little bit of edge to it, but this was very wholesome. I guess even the Dark Knight quests were pretty wholesome in the end. Drusilla, what a day it's been, eh? Hope it'll be a while yet before I have occasion to yammer on that much again. Too much talking is liable to put me in a sentimental mood, or worse, make me dewy-eyed. So let's leave it at that, eh? You ever get weary from the weight of the world on your shoulders? Know that our doors will always be open. And if you need an ear to bend, a shoulder to weep on, or a stiff bottle to jump inside, I'll be right here, sister. What a badass. What an utter, unmitigated badass. As your avatar sups upon the souls of fallen foes, you're bonded with something. Enshroud. Okay. So we got a little bump in Manes Exite Paterni. Manes' hands. Exite. Leave the hands of the father? I don't know. I don't my Latin is rusty still. Exite is the commanding voice. Exite, yeah, so leave Manes Paterni. I think it's, yeah, the land, leave the hands of the fatherland, maybe? That's my guess. I don't know. So that's gonna, this looks like, so this is expanding, but I'll look at that on my own time. So look at that! We got a friggin', oh, this is cool. This is very cool. So that's gonna be it for me for now. Thanks for watching. I will see you all later. Alright, bye-bye.